From his fallout with the Huntington Beach bad boy to getting dumped by Ngannou for the Professional Fighters League, here are UFC fighters that Dana White just cannot stand. Let's start with the biggest beef of them all. Now, it's no secret that White and the former pro boxer Tito Ortiz haven't been the best of friends for a long time. I mean, they used to be thick as thieves because back in the day, Dana used to call the shots as Ortiz's manager. But once he climbed the UFC throne, all hell broke loose. So, after Ortiz slayed Ken Shamrock, he upped his price by a mile. And that didn't sit right with Bossman White, cause these two went from BFFs to frenemies faster than a Conor McGregor left hook. Still, that's not even what's got everyone talking about this infamous beef, cause fast forward to 2007, when they tried to settle things as two figures in the boxing scene should, in the freaking ring. Like, that literally would have been the boxing match for the ages. And let me tell you, this fight had everyone pumped up. Like, we had Dana training like a madman, but guess what? It just never went through, cause Tito pulled a no-show as if it were some iconic mic drop moment. Sure, he must have had his reasons, but step up a little, dude. That said, it's not the only reason why Dana just can't stand the guy, folks. Strap in for this bombshell. Tito went on to make some serious allegations on a viral podcast. So the fight was supposed to be a fair 50-50 split on the cash. But according to Tito, when the contracts came out, Dana's pen ran out of ink or something. As if, obviously, Tito was not having any of it. And he called White out, exposing the whole shady setup. He claimed it was all just a ruse for Dana to hog the spotlight like some fame-hungry diva. Now, for someone who was a no-show, he can pack a punch all right. But hold your horses, folks, because Dana White had his version of the tale. He pointed fingers at Tito, labeling him a scaredy cat who ran away from the fight. Can you believe the audacity? This feud just got so wild, it put reality TV to shame. But get this, so many more UFC fighters have done everything, from sucker punches to steroid scandals, and Dana isn't holding back when it comes to expressing his feelings about them either. So Anderson Silva, the former middleweight champ, went on a rampage recently, blasting the UFC and claiming they treated him like yesterday's trash when he was winding down his career. But that's not all. The guy took a direct shot at Dana White, saying the UFC president treated him like nothing. And coming from Silva, somebody who White respected so much, let's be real, you know that's gonna get under Dana's skin. Of course, Dana White wasn't up for any of that nonsense. The man was left scratching his head, wondering where all of that even came from, cause he swears he's never trashed Silva, except for one time, after a not-so-great fight in Abu Dhabi. But the drama started when Silva's UFC journey was coming to an end. After that TKO loss to Uriah Hall in 2020, Dana regretted giving him that final fight. He even hinted it might be time to hang up the gloves for Silva. Ouch, that's gotta sting. But guess what? Silva didn't back down. The boxer he is, he kept fighting, this time in the boxing ring, and boy has he been successful. To the point where it got Dana thinking, hey, maybe this boxing thing is a good idea for Anderson. He even suggested Silva take on YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul, who was looking for a dance partner. But the shots Silva fired at him just aren't gonna make him look any better anytime soon in White's eyes. He was like, we let him finish his contract, even when he was on a losing streak. But Anderson's got beef, and he's not afraid to spill it all over the place. But come on, after all that mess Anderson stirred up, can you blame Dana for being a little ticked off? Like with Tito, these guys have a history too, and let me tell you, it's not looking up for them anytime soon. But hey, who knows what the future holds for these two, right? Maybe one day they'll bury the hatchet, or maybe this feud will keep sizzling. This probably seems like the likelier option, because we've got a whole list of fighters who the Prez can't stand. Let's get back into it with Paul Daly. So this guy came in hot, all hyped up as one of England's finest, but he just as quickly burned his bridges with a single jab. So at UFC 113, he faced off against welterweight contender Josh Koscheck, and let's just say, it did not end well. After a hard-fought loss, Daly decided to go rogue and sucker-punched Koscheck way after the bell. And guess what? Boom! The guy was fired on the spot by the big boss himself. Like, Dana was not having it. and he bluntly called out saying, "He's done. I don't care if he's the best 170-pounder in the world. He'll never come back." Yikes. We can tell Dana's not one for breaking the rules, y'all, and this next fighter tested White's patience just the same. Next on the hit list is Josh Barnett. The former heavyweight champ had it all, but he just couldn't keep himself out of trouble's way. I'm talking about a big old jar of steroids. Yep, Barnett failed a drug test, and on Dana's watch, that got him stripped of his title in the blink of an eye. I mean, Dana was livid, saying, "This isn't the kind of guy that I respect or want to do business with. Clearly, you do not want to mess with Dana when it comes to doping." And then we have Michael the Count Bisping. Oh boy, the wild moves these fighters have pulled on Dana are enough to make anybody go mad. So at UFC 127, Bisping decided to break the rules by throwing an illegal knee at Jorge Rivera and even spitting on his opponent's corner. Not cool, bro. Obviously, Dana wasn't about to let that slide. He immediately revoked any bonuses Bisping might have had his hopes up for. Believe me, when Dana White is annoyed, you better watch out. He's not afraid to call you out, put you on blast, and slam that door shut on any chance of redemption, no matter who you may be. Because guess what? He's got a major bone to pick with none other than Francis the Predator Ngannou. So the man who used to reign supreme in the heavyweight division has stirred up quite the drama with his move to the Professional Fighters League. So Dana, with that fiery UFC spirit, stepped up to the mic at the UFC Vegas 73 post-fight press conference. And boy, he did not hold back. I mean, Francis's move had his jaw on the floor out of shock. According to him, the move was completely out of the blue. But wait, there's more. Dana continued to spill the tea on why Francis skipped out on facing John Jones, insisting that Francis just doesn't want to take any risks. I don't know about you, but that sounds straight up shady, and it just keeps getting spicier, y'all. Dana whipped out some serious shade from Anthony Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn. Apparently, Eddie called Francis's boxing match idea a gimmick. Yikes, that one's gonna leave a mark. Maybe even a black guy at the hands of Dana. Cause White, being the king of no nonsense, was like, "I don't do gimmicks, okay? That's not how we roll in the UFC." And here comes the knockout punch. Dana's even got beef with Francis's negotiation skills. Like, are you serious? The UFC's chief business officer, Hunter Campbell, went all in, like borderline forcing Francis to keep him in the octagon. But nope, I mean, Francis was out here, acting like he had a Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather mega fight in the works. And hey, spoiler alert, he didn't. But Dana had a lot more to let out, folks. He was not impressed with PFL's champions at all, dude. He went full on taking a jab at their heavyweight champ, Marcin Tybura, and their current champ, Ir Prochaska, who isn't even in the heavyweight division. Oh, the shade is real. All I'm getting from this is that Dana White is not, I repeat, not a fan of Francis's PFL adventure. Like, he thinks it's all a bunch of bull, plain and simple. But you know it all too well. When you've got Dana, the drama's far from over. So there you have it, guys. From getting dumped by Francis for the Professional Fighters League to his fallout with the Huntington Beach bad boy, those were UFC fighters that Dana White just cannot stand.